So the second part of the problem here asks us to determine the cost formula for maintenance costs if we're using the high-low method, and this is fairly simple as well. I've taken the information they've given us and set it up this way so that we've got the high level of activity, and this is the one thing you want to pay attention to. You're not going to pull the costs right from here because this includes both the variable indirect materials and the fixed rent costs. We're looking only for the mixed cost, which is maintenance. So when we have a activity level of 50,000, my cost isn't 142,500 because that's all these costs. My cost is only 32,500. So that's why I have $32,500 here for the low level of activity. And the first part of this problem asked us to determine what the the maintenance costs were at the high level of activity. And so here I've got the little formula over here, which we went through in the first part of the problem, telling us how we got to the 41,250. So the high-low method says you take the difference between the high level of activity and the low level of activity, which is 25,000 labor hours, and you take the difference between the dollar amount of the mixed cost at those two levels of activity. And to get your variable cost per unit, you take the dollar amount of the difference and you divide it by the activity level difference. So you get 35 cents per labor hour. And the book goes through and tells us this is the formula that's going to express to us or tell us what a projected maintenance cost would be in the future, which is y equals the total cost. A is going to be the fixed cost portion of the mixed cost, and the bx, the b is the variable costs, and the x is the activity level. In this case, it's the direct labor hours. So here's how we're going to want to express our answer. That's what they're asking for, the formula. And so what we know is that, this is another way of saying it, total cost equals variable cost plus fixed cost. My total cost, and here's where I can pick either the high level of activity or the low level of activity. And I'll pick the high level of activity just because, no reason. My total cost for the mixed cost at the high level of activity is $41,250. My variable cost, we know, is 35 cents per labor hour. So I multiply the 35 cents times the 75,000 direct labor hours. So I know now I can plug this into the formula of total cost equals variable cost plus fixed cost. Total cost is 41,250. Variable cost is 26,250. Therefore, my fixed cost has to be the difference, $15,000. Okay, so now I have both of the, when we express this as a formula, we only want there to be one variable, and that one variable we want to leave as the x, or the level of activity, so that for any level of production, someone can project or guess at pretty accurately what the total cost will be for maintenance. So here's how I'm going to write this formula. The total cost, y, equals my fixed cost, which is 15,000, we figured that out down here, plus b, which is the variable cost portion, which is 0.35x. So that's actually your answer, and let's just prove that this is accurate in fact. So if we just went through the high level of activity, and that's how we came up with the formula. What if we plug in the low level of activity? Does that formula work? Let's look at it. So my total cost at the low level of activity would be y equals 15,000 plus 0.35 times 50,000 units. So let's see. My 15,000 times, or plus, sorry, 0.35 times the 50,000 direct labor hours. And look at that, I have $32,500, and that's exactly what the total mixed costs are, the maintenance cost at the low level of activity. So again, this is your answer right here, 15,000 plus 0.35x.